Does this sound familiar to you? You've delivered results, the client's happy, you ask for a testimonial, and suddenly you hear, "We'll get back to you." Most businesses do want to say yes, they just don't know what they're agreeing to. That uncertainty leads to delays, polite brush-offs, or just straight up no's. Hi, I'm Dave from Proud Business Productions, and since 2011 I've been creating high quality videos for businesses and helping businesses use the right strategy to get them in front of the right people. In this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to get your clients to say yes to filming a video testimonial, and how to make it a win for everyone involved. Now you might be wondering, if your clients are so happy with your work, why do they say no to a video testimonial? The pushback isn't usually about time, it's about not having enough context. You'll probably hear things like, "We're swamped right now," "I need to check with the team," or "I'm not great on camera." But what they're really thinking is, how long will this take? What if I look like an idiot? Are we just doing them a favour? It's a bit like asking someone to do a run without telling them where the race is, the route, or even the distance. Of course they're going to hesitate. But when you give them a clear path and show them the benefits, most people lace up their shoes and say yes. And that's where clarity and confidence on your part changes everything. Stop thinking that you are asking for a favour. It's really a chance to celebrate their and your win, like putting them on a podium after a great race. Instead of, "Would you mind filming a testimonial?" you could try, "We'd love to feature your story in a short video that shows how your business is doing brilliant things in the healthcare industry." It positions them as the hero, not just a happy customer, and who doesn't want to be a hero? More than that, if you're going to promote the video on LinkedIn, your newsletter, or YouTube, and you definitely should be, that's free exposure for their business. And it's always a good idea to sweeten the deal. Offer them their own cut of the video that they can share themselves, or maybe some custom B-roll, or just tag them when it goes live. Little bonuses go a long way. As I said before, most of the hesitation comes from not knowing what's involved from their point of view. So take away the guesswork. Let them know upfront that filming usually takes no more than 30 to 45 minutes, it's relaxed, low pressure, and fits around their schedule. Whether you film in their office, on site, or at an event, you'll go where they are and make it work around them, not the other way around. Reassure them that they don't need to prepare a script or memorize anything. You're going to guide the conversation with questions, and if something doesn't quite come out right the first time, it's no problem. That's what editing is for. Something that I find normally helps is mentioning that although the interview will take 15 to 30 minutes, the final video will only be about 3, meaning we'll only use the very best parts. When you paint a clear picture of what the process actually looks like, it stops feeling like a disruption and starts feeling like something they can actually say yes to. So they know how the process works, but do they know what's expected of them? Another pushback could be that they think they will have to spend hours preparing for the shoot. When you're initially asking for the testimonial, give your client a quick heads up on what would be useful to think about. Ask them to reflect on the timeline of your work together, when you started, what challenges they were facing, and how things progressed. You can encourage them to bring up any specific results or stories that really highlight the value you delivered. Doesn't need to be perfect or polished, just honest and specific. On this note, and this is a big no-no, don't send them the questions in advance. It's fine letting them know the gist of the story you want to tell, but if you give them the questions, I've always found that people over-prepare and come off as wooden and unnatural. It's important to remind them this isn't Dragon's Den or a press conference. It's just a friendly conversation. You want to reassure them that they won't be put on the spot and that you'll be guiding them through it every step of the way. If you're not getting the answers you want, then you will change the questions to guide them in the right direction. It's probably good to get them on a phone or video call rather than going back and forth over email. It'll be a lot easier to figure out their concerns and not overload them with info that they just don't need. But what if they're thinking that you'll make them look like they don't know what they're doing, which is why they needed your help? You can walk them through the structure by saying something like, "We'll begin with where you were before we worked together, the challenges you were facing, or what wasn't working. Then we'll talk about how we work together, and finally we'll wrap up with what's changed since and what life looks like now." It's not a script and you don't need perfect answers, it's just a natural conversation. Let them know they can talk in their own words, at their own pace, and you'll guide them through it. You are showing that they're a forward-thinking business who relies on outside experts to make what they do better and give their customers the best experience. You're probably thinking I'm being biased, but if you have the budget, I'd definitely recommend getting your video testimonials professionally filmed, as they can be such a huge growth tool. When I say professional, we're talking about professional lighting, crystal clear audio, and high-end cameras. Everything is set up to make sure they look and sound their best. It's extremely important to mention to your client that they'll always get to see the final cut before anything goes live. That alone could be a real game changer for anyone feeling nervous. Knowing they have control over how they come across removes a lot of the pressure. If they're still unsure, show them a few examples of previous testimonials you've done. Let them see what other businesses look like on camera and mention that they're probably just as nervous beforehand. Sometimes all it takes is seeing someone like them doing it well to shift their mindset from no thanks to, alright, I could do that. With all that we've covered, you should be pretty close to getting a yes. But just in case, here are a couple of short tips to help you get proper buy-in. First of all, timing can make a huge difference. You'll always have a better chance of getting a yes if you ask while the client's still riding high from a recent win or milestone. Like right after a big result, a new contract signed, or a campaign that really delivered. Also, think carefully about who you ask. It's often more effective to approach someone who directly felt the impact of your work. Maybe not the CEO, but the marketing lead who saw their campaign metrics skyrocket, or the ops manager whose team suddenly got their time back. They'll be much more enthusiastic and authentic on camera. And as a bonus, if you often work with people in this job role, then it's good to show that type of person on camera. So, keep it clear, make it beneficial, and show them that they'll come out of it looking like a leader in their field. That's how you get to a yes. Try and get in their heads to understand their concerns and then address them in an upfront manner, preferably on a video call or over the phone. Fast forward a few weeks and you've got a shiny new testimonial, but how are you going to use it to make money for your business? I've got you covered with this video where we look at the 4 main stages of the sales process and how you can use testimonial videos to move your clients forward in their journey. If you want to turn happy clients into high-performing testimonials, that's what I help businesses do. You can find out more information on my website, which you can find in the description below.